path that hopes to marry the labyrinth, the neural world, together with the complex coded world of cybersecurity. Welcome to this presentation where we analyze the intersection between neuroscience and cybersecurity. Let's begin. Neuroscience, cybersecurity. On the surface, these two realms seems very far apart. Yes. But in actual fact, when we start diving deeper, we realize that by understanding the mechanics of our brain can profoundly influence how we approach cybersecurity. The human brain is an intricate web made out of 86 billion neurons, right? Firing impulses at almost at the speed of 120 meters per second, right? Which is roughly about 430 kilometers an hour. To compare, the takeoff speeds for an Airbus A380 is 270 kilometers an hour. The range almost twice as fast. And this extraordinary organ makes us think, makes us reason, and most importantly, helps us make decisions. You might be wondering how I got started in this journey, and I want to share a story. 20 years ago, I was a young boy, much younger, and I attended a training. It was in University of Greenwich, and I was the youngest in a cohort of 16 people. 15 other members were all either they were investigators, they were enforcement, people from various backgrounds. And part of this training was for photographic memory. And at the end of the training, we were taken into a room that looks like an old British library. We had 10 seconds to scan the room, and we were taken out of the room. Then they would purposely change something. Perhaps maybe take one little book and maybe turn it upside down, for example. Or maybe remove a book. Then we are brought in back again, and we are given another 5 seconds to scan. And we need to point out what was that change. I was able to do it, and for me, I thought everyone else should be able to do it, right? It's a piece of cake. But later, we found out that only 2 of us from the 16 were able to actually find the change. 14 others could not. While we all seem like we're wired the same, but we're wired very, very differently. Right? What I wanted to know was how do we understand cybersecurity by trying to go into neuroscience and the effect of neuroscience on victims. But as I said, before we even go there, right? Whenever we talk about victims, the main thing is to click or not to click, to share or not to share, to post or not to post. Yeah, it seems like it's very simple, but the problem is this: while computers operate on predefined logic algorithm before the world of generative AI, of course, but the human brain is very unpredictable. We can never predict our brain, right? And that was the reason why we wanted to understand what is that factor that contributes to this unpredictability. Emotions, biasness, external pressure. In fact, think about phishing. Every time an attacker is attacking you or sending you a phishing email, there's fear, there's urgency, or he's using greed to lure you. He's not attacking your computer. He's attacking your neurological response, in actual fact. Yeah? And we wanted to understand this, so what I wanted to do was to dissect the human brain. Yeah? So first thing was, wanted to understand what are the main key points. Obviously, the most important part is definitely the prefrontal cortex, the captain of the ship, the leader of the ship, the one that is in charge of decision making, the one that allows you to plan strategy. This is the one that tells you, you get an email saying your bank's password has been compromised, right? Please click here to validate. Then your prefrontal cortex is the one that tells you, hey, hold on, wait a minute. My bank wouldn't send me an email for this. I need to validate this. This is the part that gives you that judgment. Now, this particular part, prefrontal cortex, has got best buddy. His best buddy is the anterior cingulate cortex. I like to call it as this is the antivirus of your brain. This is your malware detector. He's the one that detects something's wrong. You better doubt it again, better check it again, be careful, this is not supposed to happen. All that said by your ACC to your PFC. Now, this is the part that allows us to make. And I will share with you in a second. Yeah. For example, um, when we have uh, we walk in the middle of the street, and then suddenly we take a we go down the street, very dark, yeah, and then suddenly there's somebody sitting in the corner there, and walking. Definitely, you have some fear, and says, "Don't be stupid, turn back, don't go further, right?" And often we don't follow that, yeah, and get ourselves into trouble, right? But that is your ACC telling your PFC, hold on, stop, turn back. Yeah. Now, there's another thing, which is of course our amygdala. This is really, really powerful. This gives you fear. This gives you emotions. Yeah. And then comes the final part, which is your hippocampus. Think of this as a hard disk. This is the storage. This is the one that keeps that memory permanently in the back. Yeah. Now I'll try to go into this one by one. But some people ask me, but you said doubt, uncertainty, and ACC, but also say fear, emotion, switch, right? If you're coming to a situation where you drive and maybe you're looking, suddenly, you know you're not supposed to do that. Every time you pick up the phone, your ACC tells your PFC, don't do that. Don't still do it. And then, suddenly, just in a split second, split, or you would have run over a kid. Come to that situation, you will never do it. And your heart beats fast. Like, oh my God. That is the and that will give you a permanent entry. Right? Every time you drive, you pick up the phone, that person will said, remember the last time. Yeah. Right? Now, I want to um, take you through this journey of this, but before we go on and try to understand the big thing, always should look at the criminal. Right? And we're going to look at one of the most powerful, or better, the most important news network. It's not CNN, but it's Hackers Neural Network. You want to understand what contributes to decision making. Do that so that we can all remain choosing normal criminal, not cyber criminal. I'm going to show you a video. Maybe a little bit ugly, in my opinion. So, it's a bank robbery in Brazil. couldn't even make it out of the gate. In the scale of Grammy Awards for criminals, right? Not a very successful criminal. The moment he got hit, he could not decide. He should have maybe ran out, but he still started shooting, not knowing that he's been shot in the neck. And he's going to bleed to death very soon, right? Soon enough, he died. Now, this is one example. I want to take you to another example. So, I would say it's a failed criminal. Yeah? Now, let's look at this criminal. It's actually a movie made from a real story. The very famous murderers in Malaysia. So, her name's Mona Ahmed. She did many other things, but one particular one was that she murdered, um, I think it was a member of parliament in Malaysia. But the thing was that chopped him into 18 pieces, or before chopping him, skinned him. Some of those pieces were missing, which is why they believe she had them for dinner. Now, and throughout the entire time that she was cooked, looked good, she would smile, she's never felt sad. Like, let me watch for her. She will wave hand, hello. And when she was part of the judgment, right? So she had her last meal. Her last meal was apparently at the KFC. So I don't know maybe she was when she was eating the guy, maybe she thought it was the same as KFC, I don't know, right? But then she said, I'm happy and thank you to all musicians. And then she started to wave her hand. She just won the Grammy Award. And when she was just going to be hanged, at that time they had capital punishment. She said that in Malaysia they had it means city means I remember that. And she smiled while being hanged. Now, whatever, all those, because all that stuff in the movie, that you, what was the problem, right? But I think it's people. Something we always see on right? Compare the thief in Brazil and this lady, right? They obviously were the same, right? What was wrong? So let's try to analyze that. When we look at for a criminal, the prefrontal cortex generally is at the strategizing the crime, aids them in doing logical thinking, helps them their impulse. Obviously, she must have felt like she wanted to cry. Maybe, who knows? Or she might have tried to do something, but the impulse was stopped by prefrontal cortex. Now, if you look at someone with a highly efficient prefrontal cortex, find ways to begin any caught, right? For example, a hacker. or a criminal. You can't catch that person. Why? Because the person's prefrontal cortex is highly active. Now let's talk about someone else, which is the amygdala. Now, this is the main thing. First of all, the Brazilian guy who got shot, his prefrontal cortex was really sad. Right? He didn't strategize a few steps ahead. Right? He was just, I got a gun, I need to shoot. Right? Remember, why would you give it to the guy in the first place? To maybe do a robbery. You're never going to get away with that robbery because you've already got shot. So his prefrontal was. Now, here's the thing. Criminals with very, very high, overactive amygdala, they will also be sudden. You just like the Brazilian, the man who got shot. His amygdala is overactive. He's going around shooting the guy because of fear evoked by the amygdala, actually. Yeah. But if you take, for example, someone with a muted amygdala, right? To be that, no problem. I'm just going to enjoy the moment now. I'm on all the newspapers, all the TV, right? I have no fear, right? I'm going to treat like I won Academy Awards. That's what she's doing, essentially, right? Criminal, amygdala generally they don't have that experience of the usual fear. So they do big stuff, scary stuff, but they don't have that fear because the mind says, amygdala is muted. So I'll give you a little theory, right? Anyone with a weak PFC and an overactive amygdala chances are you end up in jail, right? Or get caught or won't be successful. Yeah. Now, someone with a very strong PFC and a muted amygdala, that person is going to be a successful criminal because he can plan his attack and he won't really have any fear to do that. That's why some of you may be able to take a roller coaster ride, and some of you can't because of the amygdala. Yeah. So now the other thing I want to talk about is for criminals today there is this element of ethical bypass, and for us, what pushes this is dopamine, right? And how do we get the dopamine, right? Obviously, there has been studies that when someone's serotonin levels are low, then that person can be extra aggressive. When you excessive dopamine, you can also be extra aggressive. When both of them are combined, low serotonin, high dopamine, very, very high chances of aggression. Now, where do we get our dopamine today? Social media, phones, tablets, Instagram, whatever. That's our dopamine, right? Go for dinners, we don't talk to each other. Everybody has a device. Right? That's the dopamine for us. How many likes, how many shares, how many posts, right? That's the dopamine. Now, let's try to analyze a cyber criminal now. What happens in the mind when you do a successful attack? And this is something that we've tried to analyze for a while. First thing that happens is when that person does a successful crime or hack, right? The stimulus of breaking in sends something called a VTA to the brain. Yeah? It activates that neurons in that part of the brain, yeah? Mental segmental area. Then what happens is automatically at that area, dopamine. When dopamine is released, what happens? Prefrontal cortex gets activated to say that, oh, that was good. Now, prefrontal cortex will recognize that dopamine has been released as a result of that attack. Right? Now, what happens? Something called striatum in your brain gets activated. Meaning that was nice. Let's do it again. This process applies to smoking, drinking, whatever, any kind of addiction, right? When a person is smoking, right, he goes to BTA, BTA then comes out and says, release dopamine. Release dopamine, he gets addicted to it, right? Then goes to prefrontal says, recognize that that dopamine was released, then it becomes a habit. The moment Satan is activated, you get to become a habit. And when that happens, the body tells you there's a feedback loop. The last time you did this, right, it was pleasant. And you do it again, you do it again, you do it again. That's how you become a habit, right? Now, I want to take you into the human factor. People say to make mistakes is human. Yeah? The most important thing is this is a study that was done recently that just in the just last year, 39% of companies experience data breach on the cloud environment due to human error. Now, when we put that into real life, if we have 10 companies sitting here, 4 companies have breached because of human error. 4 out of every 10 companies receive a breach on the cloud due to human error. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? Now, there's another thing that says 74% of attacks are also due to human. In fact, um, in Asia, from the time an attack has happened to the time that you realize that we've been attacked, is 170 days. Which means if you get hacked, it's relatively most likely to find out it's you from July. When you put both of these together, that's not a very nice combination. Yeah. Now, I want to just bring you all into, because I know time is short, I want to bring you all into decision making. How does neuroscience affect decision making? And when we talk about that, as a human, we were not designed to multitask. We were always focusing one thing at a time, right? And I know ladies will think, hey, men are worse than ladies, right? Is it true? There's always the same thing, men, right? But then we research that actually all workers can't multitask because our brain is for intellectual challenge. Food, okay, then you look for food, right? Shelter, you build a shelter. We do one at a time. But when you talk about digital devices, by design, there is no such thing as everything is multitasking, right? Before you can read your email, something pops up, right? And then you go there, right? Someone was working, you start in the morning thinking you want to do A, 30 minutes into the office, you realize what you're doing, right? You see something else completely different. And how did that happen? Right? It happens. So people are now talking about why not take ethical decisions on how to send notifications. Why not do notifications of your digital device following the circadian rhythm automatically, right? Apple's trying to do that, do not disturb me, to follow that. But some companies are saying, why don't you just make sure that when you're sleeping, why do you need the notification, right? When you're awake, you need the notification. That's the sort of focus area now. But the problem that messes this up is this. Our brain develop something called prospective. And this is to do something that's very foolish all the time. I'll give you an example, right? I have a friend who loves skydiving, base jumping, he likes base jumping, right? But every time he goes on a uh, trip, he buys travel insurance. I'm trying to connect this to behavior. Like you said, base jumping, skydiving, asking ones, you got to live the internet and all that stuff. Yeah. When you buy travel insurance, right? That's perfect theory. If you walk down the street and he lost $5, for example, We'll feel sad, right? 3 days later, we find $5. We feel a little bit happy. But we always have more sadness in losing the $5 than the gaining of $5. That's how our brain is wired. Right? That's perspective. Right? And this is what makes things go really difficult because adding that to our biasness. Now, can I have a show of hands? How many of you see a duck? Okay, see a duck. How many of you see a rabbit? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, so how many of you see both at the same time? Okay, so you're highly active and creative. That's good news. And there are some cases where we say, I showed this, and they say, I see duck. Only thing I see is duck. And I say, no, there's a rabbit too. No, there's duck. Right? Usually people see the same picture, right? How about this one? How many of you see a young girl? Right. How many of you see something else? There's an old lady, and that's her mouth, and that's the nose. Right? So there's a young lady and a lady.
Yeah, old.
Okay, right? Right? Right. So the thing is that this is the problem. Because what is now is cognitive bias. Your brain is and this is a true story. And it was the first time I was bringing this guy with me, and he came from Singapore. Young Chinese boy, right? I was young at that time. But we went to Nigeria, right? And I said, come, you're ready. Let's go down to the local market and have a look at it, right? No, 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 I'm scared. I said, what are you scared for? Right? Uh, I'm scared. He said, that's cognitive bias. Because all of a sudden he's in a strange land, he feels fear. He's like, oh my God, they're going to rob me, kill me, whatever. Right? That's cognitive. It's wired. Now, same thing with cybersecurity. I just want to go into a deeper dive. I want to just talk about, when we talk about IT and cybersecurity, this is why we hacked. This is the truth, right? Because instead of evaluating everything that we see in an objective way, we will only see something that aligns with what we already believe. I'll show you, give you an example of a story. Let's talk about Britney. She basically did that. She's got company cybersecurity is the best, right? And they bought a new firewall recently. Spent a lot of money on that firewall. They didn't have to change all the antivirus so that it's a secret in the firewall, which is very confident that her company is secure. And then over time, of the confidence that we are unbreakable, right? She ignores that, right? And then suddenly, when she sees a log or she reads a security report, she will only think of things that are over time. What happens is she doesn't look in there, starts to go in. You'll be wondering why 170 because of this, right? You have enough time to be undetected. And then what happens is a real data breach happens. What's happening? The control of prefrontal cortex. When there is fear induced, amygdala comes in and starts sending things all over the place. And you may not do things that you normally would do. Right? Very normal prefrontal cortex, you will amygdala kicks in to open up the status. And you have energy now. Right? It's like suddenly my ladies are sitting here and suddenly there's a rat in the there. Everyone here will jump. Right? No problem. Because amygdala thinks, oh my God, run, right? And you will be able to do it all of a sudden. Right? Now, this is, but then you don't even know where your keys are. As if it's frontal, right? I'll use, I don't know, what do you call that? Add tag to find it. Right? I'm not going to remember where I keep it, right? So when you store your password, you put it in an Excel. Both of those are bad decisions, right? Now, what if you come up with, and I'm going to remember, there's another.
We had a paper, nearly 135 papers, offline paper presentation were there. This is very, very interesting because normally we used to have earlier in a hybrid mode. Some people used to present and some people used to come online, and it was not serious in earlier conference. This time exclusively we separated the online presentation and offline presentation, and around 9 parallel sessions took place at various places, including the external what you call experts came and interacted. The people who are doing the research, faculty members who are doing the research, and also students who have done the undergraduate program, they presented the paper really with a good this one what is spirit, and also with a research mindset, and the interaction from the experts and questions from the expert will be answered very appropriately by the presenters. It was a good exercise, and our faculty members were also present, students were also present. It was a learning program by our faculty and researchers. This type of activity is really required in the conference to understand what is going on across the globe and what are the activities taking place and how the research is there. This will motivate our researcher, and really this has helped our researcher to understand how the research is going on various institutes, particularly for our undergraduate students have also learned lot of things. That means how to write paper, how to make the presentation, and how the paper get accepted in the IEEE conference. Today is the second day, that is the last day, and in this last day we made a online presentation. In the morning session there was a keynote address by Sonali Subedar from the founder Soebit Cyprus architect in Netherlands. This is AI/ML and quantum computing in cyber security, cyberspace. This was a very interesting talk, and by the industry people, and industry actually, she motivated our faculty members and also audience about the AI/ML and quantum computing, cyber security and cyberspace issues. Later on there were 12 parallel session, online parallel session, and it went on well, and really the people except 2 or 3, most of the people presented, nearly 125 papers presented today through online. It's very encouraging, and no one was absent deliberately, no one absent with good reason. Some people did not made the presentation. Otherwise, from the outside world, the people presented in online mode with real enthusiasm. Next, there was a very interesting session which the NMIT welcomed this session, and it is required for NMIT. One is that is called industry panel discussion. This has been arranged by our Professor Karunakar Rai. With effort, we could able to get nearly around 25 to 30 industry experts for this particular panel discussion. This panel discussion, one is the academic part was there, and there are four groups were there. One is the academic and industry institute interaction, how to improve, how to make the curriculum design, how the academia is looking into the industry, and how industry is looking into the academia. The second part in that was the how industry is looking the academia, how industry can contribute for the academic development. And third part was the it was an interactive session, how skilling and other thing can be incorporated from the industry angle side, how the industry could able to do skilling, and how what institute should do for that. The people gave the information, and the experts also, they exchanged their ideas. The last session was interesting. Few people, particularly how the innovation could be taken place in the institute, and what is requirement for the innovation, how we can contribute, industry can contribute, how we should open, institute can open their mind, how they should install, or how they can make the student to make more innovative, what are the importance for the innovation, everything was given by the industry experts. That means this particular panel, in this we interacted with industry expert. One is the how academic curriculum could be designed with the industry angle, how industry can support institute, next how skilling could be done from the industry and institute wise, and next is how innovation could be introduced in the institute and also with the other places like industry. These are the four topics were discussed in this industry institute interaction panel. This is a very interesting topic, and it was particularly the industry people also finally they came to know what exactly the problem institute is facing, because there are two parallel things, like one is two black box. One is the institute, we were not knowing what is the industry problem, and industry people are not knowing what is the institute problem. Some of the thought process got exchanged during this panel discussion, and this was again participated by our NMIT. One is myself and Professor Dr. H.C. Nagaraj. He presented well about our institute, how we are supporting the industry institute interaction, and how we have made the industry to come to our institute, how they are participating with a real world problem in our institute, how we have developed lot of center of excellence with the help of industry, and also our Rohit Punja expressed about what is how much we are serious, the NMIT is serious about interacting with the industry, what the NITTE education is doing to attract the industry. All these things we have exchanged during the interaction. Later on, we had a good lunch. Now, the last session was the speaker, Mr. Krishna Rajagopal, who has come from Malaysia, gave a wonderful talk on cyber security and human brain neurological insight into the information security. This is a very new topic. Most of us are not knowing about how this security could be related to our cognitive process, particularly in the brain. And he gave with a real-time information, giving a good examples about some of the robbery and other things, criminal mindset, how it is working in the brain. And really this is an interesting topic, and I appreciate him for coming over from Malaysia to this place and exchanging his thought to us. And this is really a research topic, and I request our faculty member to look into this topic, where we can also in the cyber security area we can work in this. Now the final is the valedictory session. Here our principal is here, who is finally giving a talk, or finally is addressing the faculty and also all of the other people here. And after that we are going to conclude this session. Again, our one of the guests is waiting here in this through online. I request Dr. Parmesh Chari to finally conclude with the next this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to introduce our chief guest, Professor Sylvia Ullo. Professor Sylvia Ullo is the IEEE Senior Member, Industry Liaison for IEEE Joint Communication Society, BTS Italy Chapter since 2018. She is a member of the Image Analysis and Data Fusion Technical Committee of the IEEE Geoscience and Remote Sensing Society since 2020. Graduated with law in 1989 in electronic engineering at the University of Naples, Italy. Pursued the MSc in management at the MIT, USA. She received the prize Marisa Belisario from the Homonymous Association as one of the awards assigned to the best female students. Graduated in engineering in Italy. She won for the south of Italy. We are honored to have you as our chief guest, ma'am. I request you to address the gathering.
All the organizers and of this important conference. In particular, I wanted to send my greetings and congratulations when I could come to visit some university and some cities in your wonderful country, in India. I want also to thank all the organizing committees for the efforts they put in developing this exciting and important event. The hard work and generous gifts of time and expertise are making this conference beneficial to all its participants, and it's also incredibly important to have such a range of researchers and engineers from industry, academia and government working together across different disciplines with different perspectives and unique ideas to bring new advancements in the different research fields. Concerning India, I wanted to highlight the awesome success recently achieved by your Indian Space Research Organization. Landing of Chandrayaan-3 on the 31st of August on the moon surface will result surely in important objectives and outcomes for advancements not only of India country but also of all the other countries in the world. I wish you all a successful and fruitful conference, and again thank you for this invitation.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Dear Pram, ciao.
Thank you, madam. Thanks for joining us. So, hope we'll see you physically in next year conference.
Why not? Or you can come to Italy whenever you want, and your university principal, academics, whoever is always welcome to our university.
Sure, madam. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
So now we have some important announcement. I request our beloved principal, sir, Dr. Sinaga, sir, to announce. Sir, please.
I'm happy to announce that the next NMITCON 2024, and that will be on 9th and 10th of August 2024. I'm happy that our Department of PNC is already they have gone 1 year ahead. We are in 2023 already 1 year they have gone ahead. So I thank all our dean, all HOD, Dr. Parmeshwar, all our faculty members, students of EC for having taken this initiative, and already the brochure will be getting ready shortly for this 2024 conference. So once again I thank all our resource persons, speakers, session chairs, and all our faculty members, students for having conducted this 2023 NMITCON 2023 wonderfully. So I thank all of you. So take rest tomorrow. Thank you.
I request Mr. Krishna Rajagopal to come over the dais to take our appreciation.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Smita Prabhu, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, NMIT, to announce the best paper from all the sessions.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, session chairs of both physical and online presentations, and my dear participants. NMITCON paper presentation was conducted on physical mode on 1st September from 2 to 4 p.m. and today in online basis on 1st of October. Both the presentation got executed by using 10 to 11 parallel session, and each session is rewarded with one best paper award based on the evaluation marks of respective session chairs. Now I am going to announce the best paper award first to begin with physical presentation. We have around 11 parallel sessions there. Session 1, the best paper award goes to paper ID. Paper ID 1963. Yeah, that's better. Paper ID 1963. Name of the authors being Kushi Agarwal and team. Affiliation, they are from Christ University. In session 2, best paper ID goes to best paper award goes to paper ID 245. Rashmi C and team from Amrita School of Computing. For session 3, the best paper award goes to 2122. Authors being Ramesh SM from PS College of Engineering. For session 4, best paper award goes to paper ID 637. It's 637. Authors being Shweta M and team from PS College of Engineering. And session 5, it is best paper award goes to 2004. Participants are Vaibhav Tiwari and team, again from PS University. For session 6, it is 1513. Miss Deepika and team from MS Ramaya Institute of Technology. For session 7, it is 2241. Miss Saumya K and team, affiliation BMSC College of Engineering. Session 8, it is 2240. Miss Rakshika and team, affiliation again it is PS University. Session 9, it is 1972. Miss BK Rajya Lakshmi, affiliation is Koneru Lakshmaya Education. For session 10, it is 776. Shilpa BL and team from JSS from Mysore. JSSS IETW Mysore. And last, it is session 10A, paper ID 1357. Mr. Archishman Uday Sinha from BMSC Bangalore. So this is with physical presentation. Now I'll proceed to online presentation. Again, we have 11 parallel session. Session 11, best paper ID goes to, best paper award goes to paper ID 1775, Miss Aditi and team from Angel Institute of Technology and Design. Session 12, it is paper ID 1786, authors Kaveri B and team, affiliation is SRM Institute of Science and Technology. Session 13, it goes to paper ID 2323. It's Ram Kumar Muthukrishnan from Robert Gordon University, UK. Then session 14, it is 2242, again to Mr. Ram Kumar Muthukrishnan from Robert Jordan University. Session 15, it is 220, 2206, paper ID 2206. Authors being Patil Sachin, Sambhaji. Affiliation is Shivaji University of Kolhapur. Session 16, paper ID is 1308. Authors being Narendra Babu CR, Harsha S. Affiliation is Reva University. Session 17, paper ID is 2249. Shreya P. Patil and team from MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology. Session 18, best paper reward goes to paper ID 2131. Authors being Rajavardhan Muralekar. Affiliation Ramrao Adik Institute of Technology. Session 19, it goes to paper ID 1394. Authors being Raghunathesh GP from Manipal Academy of Higher Education. For session 20, the reward goes to paper ID 2567. Authors being Narayana A. Badiger, SG Balakindri Institute of Technology. Session 21, it is paper ID 2543. Authors being Lakshmi Devi N, Centurion University of Technology and Management. And last session, it is session 22, paper ID 535, Karuna Vasu. It's Dr. Pramod Kumar from Manipal Institute of Technology. I congratulate all the participants. Have a great future ahead. And I thank all my session chairs and session coordinators for your kind support. Thank you all. And I request all of you to submit the papers for next year NMITCON 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I congratulate all the authors. Today we gathered not only to celebrate the success of this international conference, but also to extend our heartfelt appreciation to a group of individuals who have been the backbone of this event, our dedicated coordinators. I request Dr. Ramachandra AC, HOD EC Department, General Chair NMITCON 2023 to call upon the coordinators and give away the certificates. I request all the coordinators to come here and collect the certificates.
I request our beloved principal, Nagaraj sir, to give away the certificates. I call upon Dr. Piyush, session chair, to receive the certificate. PG Satish, session coordinator. Mamta Bhai. Umar. Trishila. Sharmila. Vijaya Lakshmi. Madhura. Soumya Yamar. Kavita S. Now it is the time to call upon the coordinators for various committees. The first and foremost important committee was publicity, and for that we have Dr. Soumya Madhavan, Pramodini, Stuti, Manohara. Most important team wherein they contributed much for publicity. Next is organizing committee, Naina Karkal, Pradeep Kumar, Dr. Naveen, Dr. Manjula. Next is publication, Dr. Timaraj, Dr. Kavita Suda, Smita Prabhu, next we have the track chase, Smita Prabhu, Vishwanath, Dr. Shishpala. Next is Dr. Shashidhar, Kushalata. Sponsorship committee, Dr. Shashidhar, Kushalata, Aror Nagar sponsor.
2024 ಗೆ
Technical program chairs, Sunil, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Vinay, website made a huge impact for this huge publicity. The people behind this is Pragya and Aisha. Website. And we have steering committee, Dr. Rajesh, Professor Sitaram sir, and the most important committee for these 2 days, the organizing committee, Shubro, Ashita, Chaitra, Dr. Rekha, Raghunath Reddy, Lata Kumari, Sapna Kumari, Suganya, Smita Sharat, Bhadrala Sai Pawan, Harsha, Marta. And the last one is most important, that is finance. I call upon Dr. Harsha and Divya. Management, channel management.
Please.
Sir, finally, the student coordinators. This time we took all first year students as coordinators, sir.
Very good, first year.
Yes, sir. Chandana, Anvisha, Mas, Gayatri, Ryan, Jitin, Anaga. They're all first year. Thank you.
Sir, you know the student. No student, sir. ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಇದೆ
ಅಲ್ಲ HOD ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ರಾಜೇಶ್ ಸರ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್
Thank you very much.
Take care, your certificate you will give later.
Thank you, sir. We have many other student coordinators. The student coordinators here, please inform them to come and collect. Once again, I thank all of you for wonderful work done for past 3 days. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And we have announced the date for 2024. We have to make it much more success and we have to achieve much more success. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, sir. I now request Dr. Manjula BM, Professor, Department of ECE, NMIT, to give the vote of thanks. Good evening, everyone. I stand before you today with a profound sense of gratitude and respect as I am entrusted with a role of conveying our heartfelt thanks to the individuals who have played an instrumental role in making this esteemed event a grand success. I, Dr. Manjula B.M., Professor, Department of ECE, on behalf of NMIT team, extended a warm and heartfelt thanks to all of you who have graced this occasion. Yesterday we had our Honorable Chairman, Professor T.G. Sitaraman sir. Without his presence not only honors us but also emphasizes the significance of this conference. I thank you very much for his graces for attending this event. I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to our esteemed President, Shri Vinay Hegde sir, and our Director, Professor N.R. Shetty sir. Your visionary leadership, unwavering support and commitment to excellence have been the guiding light for all of our endeavors. Our guest of honors, David Chamajo, Mr. Krishna Rajgopal sir, and Miss Jyotika Athavale and Miss Sylvia, who have joined physically and digitally respectively. Sir, your presence was impactful and appreciated as an in-person one. We thank you all for setting aside your precious time to be with us. Our institutional pillars, our principal Dr. H.C. Nagaraj sir, our Dean sir, he was also a session chair, Dean Academics, Shri Rohit Punja sir, Administrator, Shri Sandeep Shastri sir, our Director of Academics, and Dr. Gopal Murgaya sir, our Vice President. Sir, your unwavering support and presence have significantly enriched the proceedings of this event. Our sincere gratitude to Dr. Ramchandra sir, our HOD, Department of ECE, for being a backbone and pillar of strength behind this conference. A special note of appreciation to Dr. Paramesh Acharya sir, Conference Chair of NMIT and Professor ECE Department NMIT. Sir, your dedication, tireless effort and leadership have set a benchmark in organizing such event. We are truly inspired and grateful. A big round of applause to Paramesh Acharya sir. Our participants who joined both online and offline, without them it was not possible. It is your enthusiasm and scholarly contribution that are the heart of NMITCON 2023. Your active involvement has made this conference what it is, a melting pot of innovation, collaboration and ex-paper winners for their hard work, dedication and insightful contribution have not gone unnoticed. May this recognition inspire you to continue pushing boundaries and sharing the knowledge. Once again, I thank all the people who worked for this event to make this grand success. I thank once again. Thank you all.